app. Okay, so what else? If you're brand new, make sure you go onto your app and look for welcome dream trips that you can book within your first 90 days. And this call is recorded and uploaded and archived to the onebigteaminternational.com website as well as YouTube. So tonight we have a really special guest all the way from Africa. So I have not really spoken to him before, so I'm really excited and honored to be able to talk to him. So he is nicknamed the Crazy One. He was actually an ex-professional football player, soccer player. And he is one of the pioneers of team expansion out of South Africa, growing really fast. He's an RMD, but he's only about 280 gold sales away from IMD. So really, really huge. And I know he's experienced very fast growth. He's gone up the ranks really, really fast. He's, straight to the point, no fluff. So we're going to get the real thing tonight. So if you will, please welcome RMD Darren Dix on the call. Darren, are you there?
Dick, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. So we have people from all over calling on. So it's afternoon in Africa, yes?
Yeah, it's about 4 o'clock. That's why I was asking you about the time, just to make sure I don't miss the call,
Okay, cool. Wow. So we're really excited to have you on the call. It's such a treat when we get to, speak to people from different markets. So I know tonight's theme today, or the topic that we're going to talk about, is building with speed and closing. And you, I understand you just did your first RT training.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
How 2,000 people in Kenya. It was amazing. It was different. Something different for me, obviously, but it's so nice to see that a market again, like South Africa, with a very, very small average income, explode the way they exploded. It was the biggest RT in the history in Africa. And I had the fortunate opportunity to lock arms with the one and only Savas, double IMD, $1 million ring earner from, the Greece, we all know him. So it was something that obviously you only can experience once you're part of it. So it was amazing.
Wow, that's awesome. So how many people were actually at the RT?
The final numbers was 2,136.
Wow, 2,000 people in Kenya.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And ironically, Christine, it was actually in a tent. So you can imagine how warm it was. It was something, no air cons. So trust me, sometimes I say to people, we're very spoiled to be in hotels and convention centers. When you go into Kenya, the heart of Kenya, Nairobi, the heat was like 35 degrees Celsius, and you got 2,000 odd people. You can just imagine what it was like in there. It was absolutely something I've never experienced before, trust me.
Wow, that's crazy. No air conditioning, 2,000 people in a tent outside.
You can imagine what that feeling was inside. And the energy was crazy. And that's what, myself and Savas were saying, that the energy was still so high, even though it was so much, not so much negative, but so much things you could look for reasons to say it wouldn't work, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, totally. I mean, if it's, that kind of environment, everyone be hot and bothered, definitely. So, okay, let's get into it. Can you share, I know a lot of people, have not met you yet here. Could you share with us your story, how you got started? How long have you been in WorldVentures? What happened in the first month?
Absolutely. So firstly, I'd like to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to obviously, have time on this call. I know it's so nice. We also do it the same way you guys are doing it, to have other people around the world telling their stories, so you can see that people are winning in all different continents as well as countries. So I took a look at this concept about 2 years ago, and I didn't see it the normal way, Christina. I just came, I was an ex-professional footballer. I got a bit of a knee injury, which kept me out of football for the next 6 to 12 months. And unfortunately, going to go work a job in South Africa isn't something you're excited about. And the reason being was, like I was saying to you, the average income is about $300 US. So I don't know what that is equivalent to Singapore dollars. And it's something where you can never survive. A lot of people are just living paycheck to paycheck, and I didn't want that lifestyle. And what made it not worse, but what put me against the wall even further was the fact that my daughter just came into my life, and she was 1 month old. So you can imagine all the bills and the expenses were there, and the income dropped. So it was a bit of a catch-22,
Yeah.
And I was actually a guy that was praying for something. I was asking for an opportunity. Show me the vehicle. I have everything to succeed. I've got that mindset and everything, but I just needed the vehicle. And guess who I came across? Sashin Govender. We're all very familiar with him. I came across him on Instagram. And I tell this story around the world right now because I never knew the kid. I'd never met him. I'd never seen him. But I believe God puts opportunities in front of those that are looking for them. And it's those that take them with both hands that become successful. So I sent Sashin Govender a message on February the 9th, 2015. And I said to him, Sash, my brother, I've never met you. I don't know you. But the life you're living is the life I want. Is it possible that you can help me? And if this is legal, I'm all in. We got to make sure that everything is, the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. So he messaged me 3 days later, Christina. He was actually in Hong Kong at the time. I think he was doing a training back then, 2 years ago. And he just said to me, Darren, let's jump on a call. So we jumped on a very similar call like this. It was 2 o'clock in the morning by me. And he just started painting the vision on what he was going to do. And, they always say in life, Christina, you need to find someone that's successful, do what they do, say what they say, and you get what they have. And ironically, this kid at 21, so you can imagine I was 26 at the time. My ego was here, but my bank account wasn't as high. And I had to put my ego aside to listen to a 21-year-old. Now, let me tell you what most people wouldn't do. They would say, listen, my friend, I'm older than you. You need to respect me, as opposed to me having to respect a 21-year-old. So it was quite difficult in a sense where I had to change my mindset very quickly. But like I said, I had reason to, because my daughter was was in my life a month prior. So I listened to him, and he said one thing, Christina, that today, through the grace of God, my life has changed. He said, Darren, with or without you, I'm about to come to Cape Town, and I'm about to blow that market up, whether you like it or not. And you can picture how I was tossing and turning in bed that night. My wife was laying next to me. I didn't even tell her what I was going to do or what I was even speaking to this kid about, because she'd tell me, don't waste your time, like everybody. And I just felt something that day. So the next day, I actually took my wife's credit card, ironically, because I didn't have the money. And I actually signed up. And I knew that I had 30 days before I needed to pay that money back. So I needed to go make the money. So within my first week, I think 48 hours, I got my 6, hit that personal sales bonus twice, as well as a cycle. And I had made, in our money, plus minus 13,000 Rand, which was double what I initially invested. I took platinum in the business. And
Wow.
It was a good thing, because the following week, my card arrived, and I went to the ATM, drew plus minus $100 out, and I gave it to my wife, and I said, we've just started a new business. She said, well, guess what? If you keep giving me money like this, I'm all in. I don't care. So it was a very funny story, but I just believe that, in life, you make that one split decision, whether it's a yes or no, that completely changes your life. And that was that split decision that I had made. And I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know what it was even. I hadn't even seen the video, but I saw this kid and I understood that he was winning. I wanted to win. And if he can, I just had the me too attitude. And, life is completely different. So ironic journey, but a journey that I like telling because it's so real. It's a real story, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I gather 2 things from that. Number 1, you've handled the spouse objection. That's how you handle the spouse objection.
Absolutely.
And number 2, it's interesting that, you jumped on a call with Sashin, and I believe Sashin is one of the masters of painting the vision. So you were in just based on the vision. Now, what is it that how did you find him on Instagram? Had you been following him a while, or was it just a certain hashtag that landed you on Sashin's page and you just scrolled through his profile one time and you just sent him a message? Was it like more random like that, or had you been following?
Yes. No, so it was ironic. It was the fact that, on your Instagram, you got that search button, right? Where you can search people. So somebody within my friend circle, however you call it, obviously had liked a picture of his or something. And I just saw this kid with, I think he was on a holiday or something, whatever. And I was going through, remember, I was looking for someone, Christina, you know, a lot of people look for something, you know, the opportunity. I was looking for the person because I knew I needed to be mentored by an individual in order to become successful, because that individual already had the success that I wanted, right? So I was just looking, and I came across the kid, and I clicked on his profile, and I looked through, and let me tell you, Christina, what most people wouldn't do. Most people wouldn't have the courage to send somebody a message and say, listen, I need your help. You know, that simple question changed my life completely. I mean, and I just literally sent him a message, and exact words I said, like I told you, is this real? And can you help me get the same life that you're living as long as this is legal? Because I was skeptical, of course. You don't know the person from a bar and soap. And going back to the first point you made with regards to the spouse, today I tell that story to every person that tells me, you know, Darren, I need to quickly, you know, go talk to my wife. I say, my brother, let me tell you why I'm, you know, making so much money now within the company, because I didn't need to ask my wife. The reason is do you go ask your wife to go buy a pair of shoes? No, you don't. So stop making excuses, and I just eliminate that excuse quickly and then get down to the real business. So absolutely, it is a spouse objection as well, which I actually use around the world right now.
Awesome. So let's talk about building with speed. So you said within the next 48 hours, you got your 6. Now, what did you do? You didn't even see the presentation. How did you present? Did you do it on your own? Was Sachin there helping you? What happened?
Okay, perfect. So, you know, there's a saying that goes, fast is fun and slow sucks, right? And I just, you know, with Sachin Govender coming in, it's so nice that I was fortunate enough to come across that specific leader. Nothing against other leaders, but he was about fast. And what I did was, he told me that same night, if I sign up tomorrow, which I did, obviously the next day signed up, he said within 48 hours, he'll leave Hong Kong and come to Cape Town, and he will come build with me. So he was taking as much as a risk as I was, so was he, but he was already coming to Cape Town, like I told you, to come do this whether I liked it or not. So his ambition was already to come build in Cape Town. He was looking for the right person. So what happened was, I remember the day. So it was 48 hours later, I went to his hotel, we met up. That same day, I showed plus minus, I think it was 3 people, right? And again, I was a bit credible because of the fact that I had become a professional footballer, and not many people do that in South Africa, and so on and so forth. So I had a bit of credibility, right? And I just picked up the phone and I said, I need you here right now. I'm excited about something. Come here. And they came, obviously, like I said, because I had that bit of credibility. And I signed up 2 people within the space of, I'm not even going to lie, within the space of like 30 minutes. Because I knew, and all of us know, we have those 5 to 10 warm market friends and family that trust and respect us. So I went through that first. And I got 2 people that same night. We went to an event right there by Sachin's Hotel, and I brought another 5, 6. And I think I waived my monthly fee within the space of a couple of hours, and then I got my 6. I think I could have even been 24 hours, Christy, but let's just say 48 hours, right? But I literally just understood. Sash said one thing. He said, Darren, I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to put people on the seat. And that's what I've started to groom within my organization is ignorance on fire is better than the person that wants to learn everything before they do anything. And the more ignorant you are, I mean, I got a guy, just quickly to go for a bit of the topic, I got a guy that hit marketing director within my organization in 36 days. Now, understand something. He still doesn't know how to get paid, Chris. Imagine that. He's still, up to today, his testimony, he goes and he says, you know, I'm a marketing director right now. I don't know how this company makes, I don't know how to make money, but I'm rich. You know, a marketing director within South Africa is quite a big deal because, you know, the average income is ridiculous here. So it's ironic, but it's the truth. People want to try and understand everything and they end up doing nothing. So the least I actually knew, the better it was for me initially. So Sash just said, Darren, put people on the seat and I'm going to build you a paycheck. As simple as that. And I knew that I could invite people for coffee. I knew that I could pick up the phone and say pretty much nothing, but be excited and I'd get them there. And that's exactly what I did. I got excited. I said, I need you here right now. I'm excited about something. Come through. And they'd be there. And then I'd say nothing. I'd introduce him to Sachin, who I'd only met 24 hours prior. And I was already, you know, putting my trust in this kid, but I was desperate. And this is something that is very important, Christine, and I want people to understand this was, I needed to win big. You know, there wasn't a matter of, I remember the call of Sash. I said to my brother, tomorrow I'm signing, and I'm telling you this right now, I'm going to be your biggest organization. You don't know me, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be your biggest organization. Today, I brought in his team, plus minus 7,000 people, and I am his biggest organization. My team took him from RMD to international market director within 2 months. That was my team in Cape Town. So trust me when I say this, it's not so much about, you know, what to do, but more just go do it. So I was just about putting people on the seat, and I was, you know, the rest was history, Christine.
Wow. And the power of words and the power of intention. Wow. So obviously
that was it.
Yeah. And that stems from some of the mindset and the resilience you had as a pro athlete, right? Were some of your initial signups, did you have pro athletes come on board, or?
Well, you know, we were actually, myself and you were actually talking about this prior, the fact that I already had a winning mentality. And the reason was because in football, you know, in soccer, like we call it in South Africa, is I was always caught up where we maybe were 1-0 down, you know, and it was half time and we needed to come back. So being behind, or being, you know, in a position where I'm under pressure because we're losing, was a habit of mine. I knew that losing is part of winning. People don't understand that. Losing is a part of winning. It's a part of your journey in order to become successful. So getting no's and all that wasn't difficult for me, because my mentality was, I need to go back before I go forward. I knew that. And that's life, right? People want to, you know, go fast in the company, and then when something happens, they're not prepared. But I was prepared for all that. So with regards to the first couple of people, my first 6 was no footballers. And the reason being was, I had come from an injury. So I needed to find a second resource, you know, another option where they were playing football and they were playing and focusing on that. So at the time, I was still not scared or not shy, but I didn't want to bring my footballers in, because I was saying to myself, listen, if I was still playing football and I never had an injury, I would have been focused on football and I wouldn't be looking for Sasha, right? But my contract came to an end. So I knew that if I was them having a job, having a contract, and obviously playing, I wouldn't have been interested. So I said to myself, I'm not going to go to them. Now today, because the money's coming in and I'm not doing football anymore, I'm doing this on a full time, they now messaging me, which you can obviously understand, because football isn't something you can do for the rest of your life. So initially, the answer to your question, Christine, no, I never put any footballers in. I put people from school and people that I knew that were very credible. And afterwards, the footballers started to come.
Right. Yeah. So you said one thing, and I think this is such a key sentence for getting a new person started. Put people on the seat and I'll build you a paycheck. Now that's crazy. So how long did Sachin stay with you in Cape Town and to build with you?
Well, let me tell you why. In the world, it wasn't actually in Africa, it was in the world. I remember Team No Sleep asking about, what is this kids in Cape Town doing? My team, listen to this, Christina, this is going to blow your mind. And I know Asia blew up fast, but before Asia was exploding, which was about 2-3 years ago, we grew a team. I'm going to get to the correct amount. 1,300 people in 13 weeks. How crazy is that? 1,300 people in 13 weeks. We were known at the time as the fastest growing team in the world. That was Sachin from RMD to IMD.
Wow.
It was 13 weeks. And all we did was, Christina, I remember treating this, and this is what is very important. I know most people work jobs, and I know most people are doing this on a part-time basis until they get the income. But I literally treated this like an 8 to 8. I remember waking up in the morning, driving to Sachin's hotel, getting there like a job, so sitting in traffic like a normal individual, hating the fact that I needed to get into traffic, but that's life. And I'd get to the hotel, and from 8 to 8, I told my family, listen, I need to do this because I know what this is going to bring. And I trust this kid for some reason. I got this gut feeling, let me go. From 8 to 8, I was picking up people. Now remember, most people work jobs. So even during the time where there wasn't much meetings happening during the day, I was already preparing for nighttime, because I knew after most people are part of the company, they obviously only do the income producing times, which is late at night, after everything, after work. So my 6 to 8 to 9 was packed with one-on-ones, two-on-ones, and travel parties every single night in Sasha's hotel. And then it just got to the stage where I think it was plus minus a month, about 5-6 weeks, where we started having 2, 3, 4, 5 travel parties. We do home events. I know in Singapore, I don't think you guys do home events. I remember speaking to a lot of the leaders there, but we do a lot of home events, and I used to have 6, 7, 8 home events at a time. I hit an RMD within my team, RMD in 4 months. That's crazy. And that's where the big explosion came. So it was quite a bit of after hours because I knew people worked, but I was every morning, 8 in the morning, I got to session and I treated this like a job because a lot of people treat this like a hobby and that's why they get paid like a hobby. I treated this like a R1 million business and that's why I'm about to get the 100K ring within the next 2-3 weeks through the grace of God.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, early congratulations to you. I mean, your work ethic sounds amazing. And wow, 1,300 in 3 weeks. That's like 100 people joining your organization every week.
It was mad. It was something that, like I said, it was crazy.
Wow. So, okay, for closing, I know you're a no fluff guy. You're straight to the point.
Yes, I am.
Is it, since you came in on the vision that Sachin painted, is there a particular closing that you use? How do you, first of all, do you press play? Do you do a live presentation? What do you do in the presentation? Okay,
perfect. So we will, obviously everybody does the 3-step setup. I think whether you do, a live presentation or you do a video, you got to, say, I'm excited, I'm all in, and with or without you, I'm taking this to the moon. And obviously give them a bit of reason why you're doing this, We know the 3-step setup. But what we do is we press play. And after, I'm a big believer that the presentation, yes, it's everything. Don't get me wrong. Our company is amazing. And I'm saying this to all the people that's on the call. Still continue to do what your leaders are telling you to do, right? You guys in Asia are blowing up fast. But you asked me what I do. So I'll do the 3-step setup. But what I realized, Christina, in this business was, and in life is, people follow people. So my energy is already attracting the next ace. And that's something that most people don't understand is I am sitting in front of you and there's only one thing I'm telling myself every single presentation, whether it's a big presentation of 10, 20, 50, 100 people, 1,000 people, whether it's a small one-on-one, two-on-one, the only question I'm saying to myself every single presentation is Christina leaving there thinking 2 things? I only wanted to think 2 things. Number one, that she's all in and she's excited because she knows if she follows Darren, she can become successful. And number 2, she's realizing that if she does not follow Darren, she's going to regret it for the rest of her life. That's the only 2 things I need you to leave there. Is you need to know that Darren's going to do this with or without you, and he's going to become so successful that number 2, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. So I'm a big, big believer that on closing, it's all about would you follow you? I got closed before I watched the video because Sachin made me realize that he does not need me and I'm about to go do this whether he likes it or not. That's power right there. And that's something that has allowed me, to put over 100 personals. It's allowed me to have a very, very good closing ratio is because when I'm sitting in front of you, Christina, you're only thinking 2 things. You either like, this guy's crazy, this guy's going to change the world, he's a game changer. Or number 2, this guy is probably going to make me regret the fact that I didn't join, so I might as well just join. You know what I mean? So I think, so I just press play afterwards. We go through dream trips, talk a bit about dream trips very, very quickly because I believe that the presentation after the presentation is the main money. So example, the video is played and then I'm already closing. I'm already saying, Christina, what are we signing you up today? How good was that, right? Are you taking gold or platinum? And I'm always asking. They say you've got to ask the question 3 times before it resonates within the human being. So I'm asking 3 times, gold or platinum, gold or platinum, gold or platinum. I'm making sure you understand that there's a sale being made. I listened to something the other day. They said, every time you're doing a presentation with someone, you need to understand there's a sale being made, whether you selling them on WorldVentures or they selling you on a crap excuse why they can't do this. But you need to understand, whoever makes the most sales between you and your prospect is the winner. So I make sure that I make you 100% clear that with or without you, Christina, my darling, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life if you didn't join. And then I make sure you add me on Facebook so you can watch me for the rest of my life. And then guess what happens? 90% of the people that don't join now, guess what they did? They joined later.
Wow.
You
So
understand?
What is your closing ratio on the first go?
Well, if it's somebody that obviously I speak to often, right? So we know each other. I'll be honest with you. If they're not signing up right away, they're signing up month end. Okay, because obviously they're collecting the money, which is something that, because we don't have much credit cards in South Africa, so everything's, debit card and waiting for the end of the month. If it's a cold prospect, I'm not so much worried about closing them. My most concern is getting them to follow me, because they're going to see me go to America. They just saw me come from Kenya. They're going to see me go on the R&D trip and blah, blah, blah. In 2016, I took 18 holidays. For a South African, that is ridiculous. For a normal human being, that's ridiculous. So, in South Africa, they like, what is this kid doing? So most of my personals, I've got 53 personals today from Facebook. They've messaged me. How crazy is that? So they've sent me a message to say, Darren, what is it you do? I see you winning big. Can you help me do the same? Exactly the same way I messaged Sasha. So it's funny how you attract the people by the person that you become. And so my closing ratio with people that I know is almost, I'm not going to say 100% because it's never 100%. You're always going to get those people that won't. But most of them are saying month end. And month end comes, we lock them in. And then with regards to cold market and people that I've never spoken to often, I'm not so much worried about closing them. I'm worried about them watching me for the next 2, 3, 4 months, because I know they're going to be closed. Because they're going to see me do their dream life, right? So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is so good. We have a little bit of time. Can you actually go through some of the verbiage of like what you say in the closing, so that they're thinking, this guy's either completely crazy or I'm going to regret it if I don't join him? What do you say to them?
Absolutely. So like you said, you said one of the closings earlier, which was so funny, is you said that Sashin clearly painted a good vision for me. And I realized their thoughts are things. So I need to make sure that they know that where I'm going, and I'm making sure that they understand. So example, I'm going to say, listen here, my brother, I'm going to be honest with you. Let's say I'm talking to you, Christina. So I say, Christina, my darling, with respect, we can agree that you cannot live with one income, right? You're going to say no. I'm going to say, any multimillionaire, they apparently have up to 7 streams of income, and you clearly only have 1, right? So I'm always saying right, because I want them to admit it. It's important that they're connecting with me, okay? And then I'm going to say, well, let me tell you this. I was exactly like you, because you've got to make them feel like they are you. You've got to have that connection. Don't just want to get the sale. You need to connect with the individual first, okay? So I'm always asking them, and I'm waiting for them to say yes. I need you to say yes, because then I know I've got you already. And then I'm going to tell them, listen, I'm about to go and put 100,000 people. I'm about to become a multi-millionaire through WorldVentures. Can you become a multi-millionaire in your job, Christina? You're going to say no, because I've never seen an employee become a millionaire. That's with respect. And I'm making them realize in a nice way that their life pretty much sucks, right? And I don't want to, it's funny that I say that, but it's the truth, because people will only jump on board when they realize that they're going nowhere with their life, and that this could be the opportunity. So I say to them, Christina, my darling, what happens if this is exactly what you've been asking for? Christina, what happens if this is what will allow you to get out of your predicament you're at home? This could allow your family to go on holiday and travel the world. But more importantly, what if this works? Because I know what they're thinking. What if this doesn't work? I say, don't think about what if this doesn't. My question to you, Christina, is what if it does? Because it did for me. So I'm always looking for the positive, because I know they think in negative. They're always looking for reasons why they shouldn't. But I make sure that I'm connecting with them. So I'm pretty much telling them that I'm going to do this without you. They know that already, right? I'm telling them that, what if this is what you've been asking for? What if this gets you out of your predicament? Because something in South Africa, and I think it's around the world, but something very important in South Africa is everybody's looking to make money. And we push that hard here, because an extra, a lifestyle first tier of $200, Christina, that's $200. That's plus minus almost half, if not more, than the average South African income. And all you got to do is grow your team to first tier. And I'm telling them, and this is what's made me close so many people, I'm telling them that I'm going to help them do it. I'm going to build the paycheck for you. I have the credibility. I've taken the holidays. I've bought the beautiful home. I've bought, the beautiful car. And then people ask me, but Darren, what happens if I haven't? What happens if I'm just starting out? There's a lot of people on the call that's just starting out. Perfect. I'm saying, but guess what? I have a mentor that is a millionaire who's mentoring you.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be straight up with people, because the only reason they're sitting in front of you, they just looking to see if you're the person that could lead them to the promised land. I wasn't meeting Session for what he's going to show me. I was meeting up with Session at 2 o'clock on a call because I wanted to see if Session Governor was the person that was going to take me to the promised land. And I promise you, every person that you sit in front of, that's all they want to know. Can Christina take me to the promised land? If not, I'm going to look for the Christina that can. Mm-hmm. Be the person that you would want to follow. That's all you got to think about closing. Be the person that you want to follow, because that person is coming here to see if they can follow you, to take them out of the predicament they're currently. It's as simple as that, Christina.
That's amazing. So that's why in the end, I mean, even though South Africa has an average income of $300 to $500 you don't even get the money objection, right?
We don't. The only thing we say, they might not have the money right now, Christina, but they're going to say end of the month, because you know what I realized? And I say this with a lot of respect. If our parents, I'm going to use myself, I don't want to say your parents, but if my parents were in hospital right now and they were touching wood, they needed $500 because that would save them, can we agree everybody would find the money?
Absolutely.
That's an excuse. So I know that's an excuse, because I didn't have the money, but I stole my wife's credit card. I'm just giving you an example, So I know that's not an excuse, because if they believe enough that Christina can take them to the promised land, that's all they worried about. They will make a way. They'll sell something. I have so many stories in my team. They've sold things to become a part of it, and then they bought that same thing back. Money is never the reason. They're not sure that Christina can take them. Be the person that you would want to follow, and you'd never get money, because I don't even get money anymore. Because I know what to say now. I know that Christina's coming to see Darren, not see WorldVentures. See, can Darren take them to the promised land?
Wow. So we're all out of time, but I just want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, because I feel like I just had $1 million coaching call with you. You've given me so much energy. So I'm sure the people on the line are just sitting off the edge of their seat. They're just, my chat groups are blowing up. But thank you so much. I mean,
Thank you.
We had some great lines here. I hope people have been taking notes, but building with speed, obviously your energy is just electrifying, your vision casting. You really feel that energy transferring. And I think just by seeing you, I'm sure a lot of people have been inspired to go out and not just take action, but build with that sense of belief and that energy and the power that you have. So thank you so much for coming on the call. And I know you have some RMDs and amazing leaders in your team. So please recommend them to us. I'd love to have them on the call to share their story. And we are looking forward to seeing you here in Asia. You got to do it here.
Amen. That's coming. I can tell you this right now. I'll definitely be in Asia, right there by your doorstep very soon. So make sure you go talk to your friends. Otherwise, I'm going to steal them. God bless. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Check the chat box, because we've got a lot of comments coming up.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the comments. Do me a favor. Add me on Facebook. Send me a message, and I'll keep up to date with you guys. And let's hopefully that something I said today changes your business. So, Christina, thank you again. And tell everybody on the call, I really appreciate it. In your groups as well. I really appreciate your guys' time. So, Darren Dix is my name. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook. God bless. And again, wow, the messages are coming in. It's crazy. Thank you again, Christina, for having me on the call. I really appreciate you taking out the time.
Thank you so much, Darren. Good night.
God bless. Good night. Bye-bye.